on, TD?
What's going on, man? What's up, man?
What's good, man? Yo, and what's good, Alex?
Calvin,
We ready to do this show. And first we're gonna talk about these damn wild card picks. So y'all do it better than me. So get ready and let's get these wild card picks done so we get into this show.
All right, like Calvin said, man, let's get into this Wildcard Weekend recap, man. Alex, these were some crazy games, dude.
Yeah. These
were some crazy games, man. I mean,
this is why the NFL makes a lot of money, man. That's why the NFL makes a lot of money.
Not just one blowout, several blowouts. I'm looking at the games here. Miami couldn't score but 7 points. Right. Dallas got obliterated in the first half and had to try to come back from behind to make the score look competitive.
Right.
The only real competitive game this weekend, bro, was the Rams and the Lions.
The Rams and Lions, correct?
Yeah, I mean 23-24. That came down to the wire, but everybody else waiting close. Give me your thoughts before we get into the recap of the scores. Give me your thoughts of what you saw this weekend.
Well, I was blessed enough to have all the apps to watch all the games. So I had the Peacock, I had the YouTube TV. So I was rolling, and for the first time the entire NFL season, I was able to watch full football game from my own couch. I hadn't been able to do that the whole season, and I know there's a lot of our viewers who, don't have that privilege as well. And so that was a blessing for me to be able to watch all the shows, all the games, and they were quite entertaining. To your point, TD, Houston, Cleveland got out of hand. Kansas City got out of hand. Pittsburgh out of hand. Dallas, out of hand from the get-go, from the giddy-up. And I really thought that Dallas was going to answer and score right back. I was kind of nervous when their defense allowed them to run the ball. I mean, get all the way, was it 11 minutes of the clock or 8 minutes of the clock?
Mm-hmm.
Detroit was very entertaining. You couldn't tell which way it was going to go, but you could feel the energy that the Detroit had. They kept showing off Eminem in the stands and showing all these, they showed a lot of Detroit people out there to support them. So you could tell that support was there. And then to the Eagles fans, who would have guessed it, right? I mean, Tampa Bay, they're in our division with the Panthers. We see them a number of times during the year. And even what I've seen this year didn't see me seeing them all the way in the second round of the playoffs. So, yeah, it was an interesting football, and that also got out of hand. So,
well, let's get into this recap, man. Game 1, the Browns at the Texans. I'm thinking that Joe Flacco was going to lead Cleveland to at least one playoff win. If not two, because Cleveland's defense had put them in a position to win so many times all year long. And they lost Deshaun Watson. And then they went through, a couple other quarterbacks. Then they signed Flacco, and I was like, okay, well, this might be something. So to see the young Texans come in and they harassed him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, Joe Flacco got harangued all game. So with that, when you see that final score of 45-14, that told the story of those young kids, man. And Alex, I know you and Calvin picked Houston, and I picked Cleveland because I was on that Browns defense, and Joe Flacco wants to be into the Super Bowl train. But tell me what you thought about that, man.
I mean, so I almost was convinced. I remember when we were doing the show, and I was thinking, man, Cleveland, they've got the veteran quarterback, if you will. But I had just left out of Houston, Texas, and I was there the day that they advanced to the playoffs, and it was announced that they were going to make it. And I was in Houston, and the energy of the town and the vibe, just in everywhere you walked, it was like they really believed. They had the I believe spirit all the way to the airport, all the way till I landed back in North Carolina. I was a believer. I got the Houston punch in my blood, and when I made the decision, it wasn't based off. Like I said, I couldn't name their receivers. I couldn't name who their defensive stars were. I could just know that type of energy now, and the storyline behind the rookie going this far into that was just a storyline that I couldn't see being denied, not the first round. So we're talking about some good TV coming on. We got some good NFL productions coming out going into this second round of the playoffs.
Well, I can tell you, man, CJ Stroud had almost a perfect game. You know, going to 16 to 21, 274 yards, and three TDs. You could see that CJ Stroud was made for this. That young man came into that game like he was made to be in that position.
Yeah. You know, he said he wasn't scared. He's like, this is what I do. I've been in playoff games. I've been doing this.
Well, I'm a believer now. So, we'll see what these picks look like after the break. But the next game was the Dolphins Chiefs. Everybody in America was drinking the Dolphins Kool-Aid about having, there's never going to be another perfect season in the NFL. That's the 72 Miami Dolphins did their thing, and that's in history forever. It's gonna be a long, long time, maybe after me and you are gone, before a team can truly go undefeated in the NFL.
Right. Unless everybody packs their bags and moves to Houston. If everybody takes their talent. Yeah. If everybody takes their talents to Houston, boy.
So in this 26-7, which the 7 points that came from Miami in the second quarter, kind of like made me think, okay, well, here we go, Miami. Let's get ready to get this thing started. But you know, Tua was getting harassed, and it was just one of those things where Patrick Mahomes said, "Okay, give me the reins, coach."
Yeah,
and he made some plays happen. You know, excuse me, Rashid Rice and that Patrick Mahomes connection.
Yeah,
that's all Patrick needed. He knew he had Travis Kelce.
That's it.
You know,
yeah,
and once he knew he had Rashid Rice, you know, who had 8 receptions for 130 yards and a TD. Hey, that's all they needed. And then Kansas City's defense played outstanding. This is a team that scored 70 this season, ladies and gentlemen, with one of the fastest people in the league, the fastest group of receivers in the league. So
but they couldn't run on ice. They couldn't run on ice.
I guess that's what it was.
It was -7 degrees.
-7 is tough, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of cold, man. I mean, think of an ice cube and then think colder than ice.
Yeah.
Right.
So
okay.
So tell me what your thought was, because both of us picked Kansas City, man.
Yeah, so even with that, weather, no weather, I looked at the injuries that led up into to Miami when they were on their way to the playoffs, and those injuries were starting to pile up, you know, and those injuries and just not being cohesive as getting the reps that most players need. You need reps, and then you go into the playoffs, you need to be fluid. There's a certain amount of individuals who don't need to go to practice. Talking about practice, right? But that young Miami team, I mean, this is new to them, right? And they needed that practice, they needed that cohesiveness, and they needed a better strategy going in. Kansas City, I already know. Andy Reid probably just told Mahomes, "Hey, man, do what you feel is best. Go out there and win, period." Like, I'm pretty sure they were calling hot routes at the line of scrimmage. And I saw that a lot. As a matter of fact, if you were watching, everyone saw there was a lot of hot routes changed, Even in the Dallas game, you seen Dak changing. A lot of quarterbacks had the green light. these playoffs. I saw it, and if anybody was watching, saw a lot of quarterbacks were able to change plays at the line of scrimmage, and you know, Peyton Manning made that popular. What's the guy from the Rams? When the Rams used to be the fastest show,
the greatest show on turf,
of
right? Course.
Kurt Warner. He made changing the calls at the line of scrimmage a big deal. But this weekend, I saw a lot of young quarterbacks and veteran quarterbacks changing the plays at the line of scrimmage based off of what the defense was showing them. So in this particular game, Kansas City, they came with it. They came with their A game, and I'm glad I chose Kansas City for the win.
Yeah, because it kind of looked like Kansas City was playing, you know, we was in the backyard, you know, hey, just run. I'll get it to you. I got it. Go to the fence and turn around. I got you. You know, Patrick Mahomes, you know, not a bad game. He didn't have a 300+ yard game. He only had 262 yards on the day.
But the turnover ratio.
Yeah, no turnovers though. You know,
turnover ratio.
You know, 23 of 41, 262 yards and 1 TD and a win. Hey, we'll take it. We'll definitely take it. Next up, man, was the I'm still bewildered by this game. The Green Bay Packers came in the Big D, opened up their door, walked in their front room, went in their refrigerator, grabbed a drink, sat down on their couch, and put their feet on the coffee table, and then proceeded to watch TV any channel they wanted.
Yeah. And
that was my analogy of how the Cowboys took this L, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And I want to get into something real quick that reminded me of what Cam Newton said on one of his podcasts. And he talked about Dak Prescott, and a lot of people said, oh my God, could you talk about Dak Prescott when you're not playing anywhere?
Right.
Simple. Cam Newton basically said Dak Prescott is a game managing quarterback. And we know from history, game managing quarterbacks need outstanding defense, which is what Dallas had pretty much the majority of the whole season.
Right.
So you take that game managing quarterback and you put him in situations to make plays, get the ball to CeeDee Lamb, get the ball to Ferguson, you know, swing it out, you know, to Tony Pollard. Make quick reads, because that's what you do to game managing quarterbacks. Make those quick decisions, because you don't want him to sit back and be in the pocket long. And I always said, in order for Cowboys to be successful, Dak Prescott does not need to throw the ball more than 40 times, because every time he does, they have a losing record. Case in point, Dak Prescott went 41 of 60. 3 TDs and 2 interceptions. Your job as a head coach is to put the right people in the right positions in order to win, right? Mike McCarthy's been doing that for an exceptional job for the last 3 years. You know, with 3 back-to-back 12-win seasons and making it to the playoff.
Correct.
You know, Dak Prescott unfortunately has a poor playoff, you know, a less than 500 playoff winning record at 2-5. But you see things and you say, maybe this might be it. Maybe this might be the year. And then all of a sudden you get right to where this is where they're supposed to be. And this is what made Michael Irvin so pissed off. And we're going to play that footage before we go to break. But you get Dallas put in a situation where they want to be put in. They're at home field, first round of playoffs. A young Green Bay team that just barely got into the playoffs with
undefeated at home.
And undefeated at home. 16-0 at home since last season.
Right.
So I say all that to say this. And I'll go back to my Dak Prescott point that Cam Newton made previously. Dak Prescott does not need to throw the ball more than 40 times. I've said that show after show in here on the Office Pool. I said it before you even became a part of the hosting staff. You know, do that.
Nope.
Do
It's
that,
not
man.
It's not that simple. I bet on the fact that they had the home winning streak. I bet on the fact that the build up all these years, they got the right pieces with not just with CD Lamb. They got their tight end. They had options. I bet on the fact that the defense was so astounding week in and week out. I bet on the fact that they haven't been, when they win large, and when they lose, the margin was short. So I made a conscious decision to go with a Cowboy team that I normally wouldn't have went with. And all I could hear was Calvin in the back of my head, bro. That's all I could hear.
The Cowboys going to the Super Bowl.
All right, Calvin, enough. You weren't even supposed to be in this segment. So that game was not as close as it looked. And people know that saw that game. You know, we talking 27-0 before the half, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, Alex, but back in the day when we played Madden or when we played football out in the backyard, 21 was skunk.
That's right.
21 was skunk. 21 was skunk. Yeah.
21
was skunk. It was 27-0.
Yeah. Yeah, it was skunk mode.
Right before the half. And then they scored that, you know, Dallas went down and drove with something that they should have been doing from day one, from the first play, from their first possession, was giving Dak those quick hot reads with Ferguson.
You made a good point right there.
Thank you, sir. You can't give CeeDee Lamb all the touches he needs every time, because people are going to start walking the safety over his side, moving the linebacker outside, making the corner utilize the linebacker and the safety over top of him so he can play as aggressive as he wants to play with CeeDee Lamb. Then you got to put CeeDee Lamb off the line. Then you got to put CeeDee Lamb in motion. Well, when you use a damn good set of running backs that Dallas has and a damn good set of tight ends that Dallas has, you don't need to try to force CeeDee Lamb the ball, because he's going to get his touches. They're going to say, oh, crap, well, what happened? Ferguson just called a touchdown right in between your cover two.
Right.
Because you had to split the safeties on one side, because you had Gallup, you had CeeDee Lamb, so you said, okay, I'm gonna go in a two shell.
Yep.
And didn't have anybody accounting for the tight end.
Right.
Then you can say, okay, CeeDee Lamb, hot read, slant, hot lead, fade, hot lead, hot read, sail route. They didn't do that. And that's coaching 101. That's coaching 101, Alex. I know a little something about coaches because I've been there at one time in my life. These grades ain't here for just a reason.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, they could have used you on the sideline.
They could have used me on the sideline because I would have had to get escorted from that stadium.
Well, no, you would have been skunked by halftime either.
Well, and that goes to another thing that I wanted to point out about this game, and we're gonna move on. Dan Quinn has done an amazing job with this Cowboys defense. However, we still have very, very, very undisciplined play from those DBs. They're scrappy, yes. They get after the ball, yes. But they get torched an awful lot. You know, they have to make up for it with those pick sixes, those big defensive turnovers. They have to make up for that because they do too much gambling. Dallas plays a lot of man-to-man. And I don't know what changed with the scheme, what made them say, okay, well, we're going to come off man and we're going to try to give a man look and do all this and switch and go from an eagle back to a 4-4 look and move Michael Parsons over here and then move him back over here. I don't know what made that, why they made that change. Because,
they should just came and played football. They did way too much.
Yes.
And way too little at the same time. And Love looked poor.
He was comfortable. There you go. He looked what? He was poised in the pocket. That boy looked like, hey man, they can't stop me. And you can see that energy coming off of the first drive. And when you walk it down their field on your opening drive, at that point,
you can kind of start talking a little trash.
Well, until Mike McCarthy gets it right and stop giving damn Tony Pollard only 15, 12 carries.
Yeah.
When he's clearly one of the most explosive people on that field outside of CeeDee Lamb, and start with Aaron Jones owns the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because he knows he's going to get about 20-something touches, and he's going to work for his. And he got 21 carries for 118 yards and 3 TDs. What do you think would happen if that was flopped around? Where Dak Prescott didn't have to throw the ball 60 times, throwing the ball on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2 in the shotgun and spread, coming with 3 and outs, and Tony Pollard got that ball 20 times, and he had 100 and something yards.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. Green Bay had a better game plan. All the boys in Green Bay had a better game plan because, like you said, there's no way they're gonna win a game with your boy throwing the ball way too
60
much.
times. 60 times.
Here's the $1 million question. Who will not have a job come next Monday? Will it be the head? Will it be it ain't gonna be defensive coordinator? Will it be the head coach? Who's getting fired off of Dallas? Somebody got.
I had this conversation with a good friend of mine who's a rabid Cowboy fan. Like, he has Cowboy pajamas and house shoes. He made the point that Mike McCarthy need to get fired and we need to get Bill Belichick. Bullshit, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Mike McCarthy, he had a rough start coming up to Dallas from Green Bay. That was expected. And then he turned it around and he had 3 back-to-back 12-win seasons.
Yeah.
3 back-to-back 12-win seasons. And not too many coaches in the NFL can do that. There's too much pressure put on Dallas because they have that star on their helmet. Too much pressure on the players, too much pressure on the staff, too much pressure from the management, from the ownership. Because you put that product out on the field. You put that out there. The Cowboys live rent-free in the overwhelming majority of Americans' head. That's what makes the Cowboys America's team. It's not that we're branded, we got all these good old boys and all this money. No, it's because over 70-something% of Americans out of that group, either there's a big group of people that love the Cowboys, and there's a big group of people that hate the Cowboys.
Yep.
That makes Cowboys the America's team.
No, you're absolutely right.
Because right. no other team has that.
Hey, that's NFL.
So with that point being said, is we had this conversation. I know I took a little bit long to answer your question, but we had this conversation about should we get Bill Belichick? No, we shouldn't get Bill Belichick because when Tom Brady left the Patriots, that organization went south.
Correct.
And I'm not saying that Bill Belichick is not a great coach because he is. But when great coaches have the opportunity to build and build and build, even after you lose one of the probably the greatest quarterbacks in the world, and then you tank continuously season after season. This year we talked about the Patriots all year this year. Oh yeah, the Patriots not winning no more games this year, but
no more.
We picked the Jets over the Patriots.
Patriots, correct.
So you really think that Bill Belichick is going to come to Dallas and do what Mike McCarthy has done in just 6 years, maybe?
Not happening.
It's not happening, man.
Not happening. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I think
Jerry Jones, keep your money. Keep your money. Make sure that you draft a quarterback next year. Because Dak Prescott needs that pressure. He needs to see what a young, aggressive quarterback looks like again because he's lost that. When he came into the league, he was a young, aggressive quarterback. His first year as Dallas starting quarterback, He won 13 regular season games. Come on, man.
Well,
he can do it. He's a game managing quarterback. And people think that being a game managing quarterback is a bad thing. It's not. A game manager knows what to do in certain situations and has the right, good enough athletic capabilities to make it happen in certain situations. However, when you fluster a game manager, he makes terrible mistakes. Guess what Dak Prescott did? Exactly.
Yeah.
Guess what Dak Prescott did?
All of the above.
He's a great game managing quarterback. Now you need to find that person, that young QB that looked like Jordan Love, that looked like CJ Stroud, that played like Josh Allen, that played like Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Because that's not Dak Prescott.
I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do, man. I don't know what they're going to do.
Let's get off, because we've been on this too long, and I know. I'm the producer of the show, but I had to jump off on that tangent, man. My bad, Locke.
Hey, it's all good.
Sorry, Calvin. I hear him in my ear. He's going off right now. But let's move on to the Rams-Lions game, because that was a very competitive game, man. 23-24, bro.
Indeed. Detroit versus Rams was probably the most entertaining game of the week, or weekend rather. And I actually watched that one. I was going for Detroit from the beginning. I think that was my pick. Did you pick Detroit or did you pick the Rams?
Yeah, we both picked Detroit.
We both picked Detroit. That was a well pick. Yep. There's a lot of things I like about the Rams. The Rams showed me promise this season. About halfway through the season, I start what's that guy? Puka
Nacua.
So
did I say that right?
You got very close. I think of Pokemon, and then I think about
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua. So I saw Nacua. I saw his very first touchdown because I believe he's a rookie. I saw his very first. Yep. I was watching the game when he made his very first touchdown, and his very first touchdown was on a drive where he had took the Rams all the way down the field, and they rewarded him with the touchdown. It was time to score, and I remember this play. It's gets in my brain because he was about 2 yards out, about 6 feet, and he was getting hit by multiple players, and he wanted that touchdown so bad. He kept driving until he made it into the end zone, and when he did that, I was like, whoa. And that put him on another level as a receiver, and since then, he has not come down off of that. He has leveled up as a very good receiver. So going in, I said, this is going to be a good game. But Detroit has been so consistent, ladies and gentlemen. Detroit had been so consistent that I felt like Detroit had the better hand. And this game was intense. It came down to the wire. As a matter of fact, the Rams had their last opportunity to score, but just did not. And then Detroit, got a walk-off win with it was almost about 3 minutes on the clock. Rams used the last time out, if I remember correctly. Then got down 2-minute warning. I think they might have had one timeout left in a 2-minute warning. And the way Detroit managed it and got the first down, when they got the first down,
it was over.
It was over. And you can see the quarterback, I think he just threw his hands up. He was like, oh, yeah, I got this. So I for the city of Detroit, I'm really excited about Detroit. And I think you got to watch Detroit going deep into these playoffs. You got to watch them. Yeah.
And one of the points that you made previously, a couple of episodes back, was how Jared Goff has taken Detroit. When you finally decided to start picking Detroit, in a couple of those matchups, Jared Goff was that guy for the Rams.
Yeah,
Jared Goff took the Rams to a Super Bowl.
Correct.
So did Matthew Stafford, and then Matthew Stafford came from Detroit and couldn't do anything but increase his stat lines. He had phenomenal games with Detroit, but they couldn't win any games.
Correct.
And then you put Matthew Stafford. It's like they did the wife trade. What's that show? What's that show where you wife swap? The wife swap.
Well, yeah, family swap.
Well,
swap
that shows. Yeah, wife swap. Two good quarterbacks. One goes to one team, one goes to the other team, and both of those quarterbacks find a way to win.
Correct.
So
it's all about the system. All about the system here.
This stat line right here, kind of like it made me I love seeing numbers. I love numbers because numbers are good signs. Jared Goff went 22 of 27 for 277 yards.
Nice little numerical pattern there.
Yeah. That told the story in itself. But you look at these two quarterbacks. This is what quarterbacks competing in the playoffs should look like. Matthew Stafford, former Detroit Lion, traded to LA, 25 or 36 for 367 yards and 2 TDs. Jared Goff, 22 or 27 for 277 yards and a TD. No turnovers.
No turnovers.
So that tells me, that should tell, if anybody from Dallas is listening, those aren't game managing quarterbacks.
Oh, no, you didn't, TD.
Those aren't game managing quarterbacks.
Wow.
They play according to their system. They don't have to throw the ball, more than 40 times in order to get the win, try to win.
Correct. No,
So
that was good football. Detroit Round was probably the best football we've seen. So we, again, got to watch Detroit going into the second round.
I am. I'm definitely going to be, I'm looking. We might have we might have almost the exact same picks in the divisional rounds.
Yeah, this stuff is
Man, there's only 4 games left. The next game was the Steelers and the Bills, another blowout. However, a lot of people weren't expecting the Steelers to even make the playoffs, in which my hat goes off to Mike Tomlin. Damn good head coach. Damn good head football coach, because he finds a way for his team to win, and he puts the pressure on his players to not just do their jobs, but to do their jobs well in situations where they have to. Not saying that Pittsburgh, at one time this season, Pittsburgh was getting thrashed.
Yeah, well, that was the second half of the season.
Yeah, but and then the second half of the season, a good coach does what a good coach does, and that's pull his team together.
Yeah, make adjustments. Make the right
adjustments. Unfortunately, Buffalo was just a little bit too much for him, winning 31-7. And I know you're gonna talk about it, bro, because I'm gonna talk about it too. Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say, man. Really, I went with Pittsburgh. I thought, wow, if he willed his team to the playoffs, he might have a trick up his sleeve and pull off this game against Buffalo. So I went with Pittsburgh just because I really felt like I thought they were on to something, right? And I said, man, this would be a great little underdog pick if the Pittsburgh can pull off this over Buffalo and the Buffalo organization. And man, I was so wrong. So.
Well, you picked right, but you thought wrong at the last second, because I was like, okay, Pittsburgh I've seen them do this before and win the Super Bowl.
Correct.
At 9-7. Correct. Remember that?
Correct.
Remember that?
Yeah, Roethlisberger.
Yes, Big Ben turned it around at the right time and got hot in November. Yeah, and that was all she wrote. But yeah, man, Josh Allen, 21 of 30, 203 yards, 3 TDs. Mason Rudolph, young quarterback. Of course, he had that one interception, but 22 of 39, 229 yards, 2 TDs. He did what he had to do, and that's what they bought him in there in Pittsburgh to kind of take the reins, in pressure times until they get somebody that can actually make those plays.
Right.
Not saying that Mason Rudolph is a bad quarterback, but maybe he's not the right quarterback for Pittsburgh right now.
Right. Colin Kaepernick is.
Okay. That might be a good argument. So let's get into the last game, man, which is another blowout. The Buccaneers at one point had Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna give you a stat line going into the fourth quarter.
What you got?
Jalen Hurts was 12 of 16 for 80 yards, 87 yards, I think. 12 of 16, man. 12 of 16. Going into the fourth quarter.
Oh, horrible.
I think it was maybe like 4 or 5 minutes left in the third.
Wow.
When they did that stat line and he had gotten sacked, that safety that he got. The Buccaneers defense
came to play. Let them have it. They watched film probably for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So tell me what you thought about that and that lopsided win, the 32-9 against Philadelphia.
Well, what was most impressive to me is that they weren't afraid to play man-to-man. They weren't afraid to line up my guy in front of your guy so I could still send the whole house to the quarterback. And one thing we know with Jalen, he is a mobile quarterback. And once you can isolate him and you can cover downfield, I mean, nobody was open. Nobody was open. And when nobody's open, I mean, you have to throw it away. And that's what we saw in that game was, Jalen throwing the ball away a lot, right?
He had to.
And then the run wasn't working. And who goes, okay, I'm gonna go for a field goal. Oh, by the way, we got a penalty. Let's try and score. No, you still take the field goal. Like, who does that? You know what I mean? So they go and try and score, and that would have been So we talk about managing quarterbacks. There's also a coach that needs to manage the team, and that call to me was a bad call. I mean, they got the infraction on the field goal. I don't know if you remember this. They were down.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 20. It might have been like 26-9. It was right around where it wasn't too far gone if you could get that score, right? If you could at least get within 10, get within 12. Now you got a game plan of being aggressive because you got that 2 minute drill. I'm a 2 minute drill guy, right? So if it's playoff football, you got to run your 2 minute drill every time you got the ball. To me, that's playoff football. And I know people save that for, the second round of the playoffs. That's what you should see. You should see a sense of urgency, a 2 minute drill off the rip. Hey guys, we run our 2 minute drill right now. And I think that type of tempo in playoff football is what we saw between Detroit and the Rams. Every time they got the ball, it felt like they were running a 2 minute drill. They was like, hey, first down. You know what I mean? Go. Right. And that's how I think that game should have been played. And that's not the way they came in. And the Eagles looked pretty bad. And I picked the Eagles because I felt like they were going to be coached well. I felt like they were coming with a good scheme. I felt like they had the talent. I felt like everyone was healthy. And I didn't see Tampa being that promising. TD, you went with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I picked Tampa Bay mainly because I didn't want the Eagles to win. Seriously. I picked Tampa Bay because I saw the wheels falling off in Philadelphia early.
Yeah.
After Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right after. Yep, you're right. And
I saw the wheels falling off of that team. I saw them like, okay, we lost to Dallas. Let's get first we lose to San Fran. We get smashed by San Fran
in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then the loss to Dallas, and then the loss to who else did they lose to before that? They lost to New York. They lost to the and then how
they lost to the Cardinals.
And then that loss to the Cardinals. Yeah. They showed me that they weren't ready to go to the playoffs. They started off great. They were 10-1. They had lost that game to the Jets, and then I thought they was going to pick it back up. And okay, these guys might be 17-1 at the end of the regular season. Bad call. Right. Bad call. So I picked Tampa Bay mainly because I saw that happening, and I didn't see Philadelphia winning too many more games. Period.
Yeah, I think you just don't want the Eagles to win, like you said. But that's a good pick. Very good pick. That probably put you in the win category for the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that put me in the win category. So for the NFL Wildcard Weekend, your boy TD came out he squeaked out with a win. Calvin went 3-3. My man Lockhart went 3-3, and then I went 4-2. And that cherry on top was the Bucks went over Tampa Bay. So coming up next, we're going to get into the next segment, which is going to be our NFL divisional picks. It's 4 games. 4 games. Know who you going to want? We'll be right back.
When I got here, I understood men before me, they built the Dallas Cowboys. They made this America's team. They put a championship on the table. Before I got here, my job, while I was here, was to match what they had done because they had built it. They handed it to me. Put my damn championship on the table. That's all we asked. Put your damn championship on the table. And you couldn't do it. All the answers gotta go.
Coming up after this break, Alex and I are going to talk about this Dallas Cowboy Miami Dolphins matchup. Of course, man, as a Cowboy fan, I got to pick my boys. You know, they came out for a disappointing loss, and
you got all that money.
yeah, I was thinking.
Talk about the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl.
Calvin.
Sorry, Mr. T.
Come on, man.
Sorry, TD.
That damn Calvin.
I'm sorry. I'm back home.
3, 2, 1, bang.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Welcome back. During the break, Alex and I was talking about these 4 games. We got 4 games in the NFL Divisional Round right before we get to the conference championship. This is gonna be a game, bro. This first game, and I'm gonna let you go on this one. The first game is gonna be the Texans and the Ravens. That's gonna be Saturday at 4. I think that's the first. Yeah, that's the only Saturday game. No, there's 2 Saturday games. There's 2 Saturday games and 2 Sunday games. Texans and Ravens. Lockhart, go.
Texans and Ravens.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Texans and Ravens will probably be the best football game of the entire 2023-2024 season. Why do you say that, Lockhart? Well, this storyline of CJ Stroud coming in and the energy that they have is going to be electrifying. The Ravens being sitting at home for the last, almost 12 days at the house, almost 15 days at home.
All at risk.
It'll be almost close to 16 days since they played the football game. You know what I mean? So, the Ravens are going to be well rested. They're going to have a lot of energy. I have nervous energy at the beginning, just getting back at it. If I was the coach, I have them running full, 2 a days, getting them back in shape. But the Ravens are going to play how the Ravens play. And I think it's going to be, both defenses are pretty stout. I want to say that it's going to come down to like a 23-24, 24-26 type of game. But I ultimately have the Ravens coming out of this, and I got the Ravens going all the way to the Super Bowl. I just think it's going to be a really, really tough fight. It's not going to be easy for the Ravens unless, there's some injuries and some, just miraculous turnovers. I got the Ravens over the Texans on Saturday.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely with you, brother. We didn't even need to call Big Homie Stretch for that one.
Nah.
I think, and I'm gonna try to keep it brief. I think that Baltimore is gonna win this game because they match up well with the Houston Texans. Their defense can put pressure on CJ Stroud. And then on offense, you have an MVP quarterback that can beat you with his arm and beat you with his legs.
Right.
So Lamar Jackson is the difference maker in that game, and I got Baltimore. Calvin, who you got?
Well, I think I'm gonna take Houston. I like H-Town. H-Town, y'all. Whoop whoop. Yeah, I like CJ Stroud. He been playing real good and getting Houston on the map. So I'm definitely gonna take Houston this week.
All right, you heard it.
Ooh.
You heard it.
Calvin with the Texans.
Calvin with the Texans. All right, so game number 2, the Packers and the 49ers. This is going to be a game with a lot of fireworks, man. What you think? What you think, Locke?
I mean, what say you, TD?
Okay, all right. I'll go first on that.
Yeah, you got Green
I'm gonna tell you. There's been a lot of times where I've gone and said, "Hey, Jordan Love is my guy." Especially when Green Bay was playing at home and they started catching, getting some traction. And then you saw him just decimate the Cowboys, last week. I got Jordan Love and the Packers.
Oh.
Beating San Francisco.
Woo. I have a well-rested San Francisco team.
Okay.
In San Francisco, another tight game, but entertaining game. I've got their defense smothering and covering Jordan Love, showing him looks he hadn't seen. San Francisco are not the Dallas Cowboys, right? So as far as turnovers go, as far as efficiency goes, and as far as the game plan going, I really feel like the San Francisco 49ers are going to have a solid game plan against Green Bay. They have just as many visits. The Green Bay San Fran have just as many visits as I think they said the Cowboys and Green Bay had the most visits over all NFL teams, but I think San Francisco probably is right under.
They're right behind them. Yeah,
right behind them. And I didn't have that stat, but I'm pretty sure how's that go? I'm going San Fran. I went with San Fran all season. I'm just going to go with them again. I'm going San Fran on that one. Again, that'll be it. I don't think that game. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game, right? I think they're going to just kind of feel like a boxing match. I feel like it's going to be blow after blow after blow after blow, and whoever has the least amount of turnovers is going to come out with that win. I got San Francisco over Green Bay.
All right, Mr. Calvin, it's on you.
Any team that beat Dallas in the playoffs is all right with me. I got Green Bay.
I can't hear Calvin.
You heard me, Alex. I said Green Bay, Mr. Carolina Panther. Where y'all at anyway? But yeah, I'm gonna take Green Bay over San Fran. So watch out, Debo. Here come Green Bay. Enjoy love.
Calvin said he had Green Bay. You heard him.
Oh, okay.
You heard him.
I said where the Panthers at.
All right, what we got?
The Buccaneers are going to be playing in Detroit. It's a toss-up for me because these are two teams that I would never thought right now at this point in time would be in the playoffs, period, let alone, dominating in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I'm going with the home team just because I know Dan Campbell's mindset and the way he got those young Lions to play this year. And for Detroit to end up 13 wins in a season and get home field advantage in the playoffs. Hey man, the Lions, the NFC, the Lions might make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right about this, that they do have a good shot at the Super Bowl. Detroit Lions, again, I've been convinced at the end of the 2022 season, they started their win streak. I remember they came to Carolina, and I was like, oh, thank gosh, we're going to get us a win this year over Detroit Lions when they show up. And Detroit Lions put a spanking on us that they hadn't played. The way they played, I was like, I ain't seen this before. And then the next game, they won. And then when they started the season off, they started off strong. I mean, they started off just as strong as the Philadelphia Eagles. The difference is they have not fallen off. Detroit has showed up each and every Sunday, and they've played with an amazing type of energy, an amazing type of determination. And Detroit over the Bucs, again, great football. We're going to be in store for some great football with that Bucs Detroit. I just think Detroit's going to have just a little bit too much on the Bucs, and I think the Bucs are going to just be a little bit more banged up than Detroit. I'm going Detroit over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's an easy pick for me because I did see Detroit going this far. I did not see the Bucs going this far, but I saw Detroit in the playoffs early on in this season. You can go back and run the tape on every episode. I had Detroit. I feel strong about Detroit all year.
Okay, all right. And what about you, Calvin?
I can definitely tell you who I'm not gonna pick, and that's the team to beat my Philadelphia Eagles down to a pulp. So I'm going with the Lions with both of y'all.
All right, good pick, Calvin. Game number 4. This 4th divisional round NFL game is the game that you and I have been talking about the possibility of happening for the last, 6-7 weeks. The Chiefs and the Bills. Josh Allen. What have I said every week about Josh Allen, Locke? Josh Allen is that guy.
Yeah, you definitely riding at the JA train.
He's that guy. To be almost 6'5", 240-something pounds, and to run like he runs, and then makes plays like he makes plays with his feet, extending the play, and then with his arm.
Yeah.
He's that guy. So for him to be in that face-off again with Patrick Mahomes is something that a lot of us have been wanting to see. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when Josh Allen meets up with Patrick Mahomes again? Is it going to be another Buffalo win? Or is Patrick Mahomes going to say, you know what? I'm Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I'm going to take this win. I'm going to take this. However, Patrick, you're not playing in Kansas City this weekend. You're playing in Buffalo. So I'm gonna let you take this. I already know who I'm picking, Alex. So you go ahead. I'm gonna let you take this one, bro. Go ahead. Tell the people.
I mean, I think the people kind of know where I'm going with this one. I do believe in the State Farm Kansas City offense. You know what I mean? I really believe in these guys, man. And again, this is a hard pick for me for 2 reasons. I mean, you got an all-star celebrity cast with Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey. Now you got to throw in Taylor Swift. I mean, you got a real all-star cast here.
Wait a minute, man. Just add Taylor Swift to the lineup.
You got to add Taylor Swift to the distractions, to the offense and to the defense. That Taylor Swift, you got to add it because you got to think about what Taylor Swift is doing for the Kansas City and for the NFL. There's people that normally would not watch NFL, especially in that category demographic, that are now tuned in just to see what Taylor Swift's going to do at the Kansas City games. So,
wow,
yeah, it's a fact. So you got Kansas City getting on the plane. They're going into Buffalo, and it is playoff football. And you're talking about a very tumultuous, volatile stadium in Buffalo. The weather in Kansas City and Buffalo are about the same. It's going to be cold in Buffalo, just like it was cold in Kansas City. Andy Reid, I'm looking at the coaching. Okay, we got Andy Reid. You know what I mean? In my head, I really want to go to KC, but they've shown so much inconsistency. Even though they've made it this far, they have not been consistent enough for me to think they can beat the Buffalo Bills that I just watched play this week in the playoffs. They played well. I mean, they played extremely well against because Pittsburgh is still not a pushover, And then even the week before, even getting to the playoffs. I mean, Buffalo, they believe, and they believed last year. So as much as I want to go Kansas City, I think this time we're going to go Buffalo. over Kansas City. And,
Okay.
And before we wrap this show, I'll let you know how I really feel this. But right now, I'm really leaning towards Buffalo over Kansas City. Kansas City looks good, but Buffalo just looks better. What about Calvin?
Then again, I want to see if Taylor Swift show. Cause I'm definitely take Kansas City, so I can see Taylor Swift. But I like Patrick Mahomes, and I'm gonna take Kansas City, cause they got Mahomes and Auto, with Travis Kelce, and hopefully we can get a chance to see Taylor Swift, cause I really like her. But I got Kansas City, TD.
All right. So we Calvin split us again. So hey, it is what it is. So that's gonna be it for this week's show. Make sure, man, you hit that subscribe and like, because if you've seen from our very first episodes, this show has evolved. Right. You know, we've got a brand new studio that we're working in now. We've got new special effects. We've got good sound. We've got Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin in the house.
You know, and you know, we've got some good sponsors. The sky's the limit for the office pool lock.
Correct.
And all you gotta do, man, is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Right.
Tell us what you think about the show. Tell us how we can improve, and we'll try to make it happen. But Lock, man, as always, brother, it's an honor, bro. It's an honor just being in the same studio with you, man. And I appreciate you for being here.
Hey, and happy birthday to you, man.
Thank you.
Look, when this airs for the people, they're gonna be like, it's gonna be a birthday celebration. So
yes,
my guy.
Yes. I'll be celebrating my 52nd birthday this weekend, and hope you guys can celebrate with me in your hearts.
There you go.
Don't worry, I don't want your Cash App money. I'm not going to put my Cash App out there. I think we're okay, Alex, on that front. But I'm going to make my way down to Charlotte, and I got to hang out with Locke and my big homie Stretch, because, you know, we the birthday boys, January and February.
Yes, sir.
And this is starting to be a tradition. So I got to keep this tradition going. So let the big homie Stretch know I'm going to be down that way. And we got to get him on the show, man. Let's get him on the show next week.
I think that's a good idea, man.
Yeah.
Capricorn Aquarius, we do a little show for all the Capricorns. Yeah. Shout out to all the Capricorns. Shout out to all the Aquariuses, and all the NFL fans and all the people that tuned into the office pool this season.
Yes, sir.
Like my man said, we got a lot in store, and it's only going to get better day in and day out. So make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Let's go.
Hey, man. Thank you for joining us. God bless. And we'll see you next week for the NFL Conference Championships. Real quick before we go, Locke, who you got? Yeah. Who you got? Super Bowl pick. Who you got? Super Bowl. Super Bowl
is San Francisco versus the Ravens.
Oh, San Fran and the Ravens?
Yeah, I got San Fran and the Ravens. Yeah.
I got Detroit and the Ravens. But that'll be another episode, y'all. Take care, and we'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Get my office pool pack Spanish. Drink. What the hell? Who drunk all my lemonade and just put water and lemon juice in here? Y'all sorry. This ain't Calvin's. Calvin's! I hate working here.